Hey guys, and welcome to a very dumb, a very silly, but a very fun land battle. I'm a Rubber Duck of War leading the mighty forces of Papa Nurgle to the battlefield, taking on Khorne on the flats of Kislev. Should be a good fun fight all round. I've gone for a pretty ridiculous build, which does certainly have some fangs. I've been showcasing quite a few land battles recently on the channel. Thank you guys for the support in the comments and so forth. And don't worry, Domination fans, we will have a Domination game up on Sunday, which is tomorrow. So for our forces of Nurgle, it is quite a beautiful build indeed. We have Forsaken dotted all the way along the front line, including one unit of Plague Bearers in the mix as well, because I was feeling particularly fancy. We have a couple of spawns of Nurgle on the flanks. Their main job is to saturate on top of the Forsaken and hopefully somehow overwhelm the Khorne infantry, which is certainly something easier said than done. Whereas in the center, we have got, oh baby, a triple. We have triple Great Unclean Ones, one of which is an exalted Great Unclean One himself. It is ridiculous, it is tanky, and it's actually pretty damn powerful. So the double Great Unclean One, of course, will come in both with the base spells. You cannot take these off them, you cannot take them off them or anything like that. They must keep these spells. Stream of Corruption and Miasma of Pestilence. You can see both of the bad boys have that today. On our middle boy, it means we don't really need to bring those cheap spells, which are very cost effective and very solid, but we're going to be casting them anyway. So instead, we're coming with Fleshy Abundance and the Blight Swarm. Look at that little Nurgling once again. I always wave at him. Hello, little Nurgling. Let's give him a high five. Watch. As he goes into battle on the death toll of the mighty beastie. So upon the bow side, across from me, we do have the glorious force of Khorne. Again, my opponent goes relatively elite. There's not that many forces in action at all. Both our armies below the 400 troop count. It is double Bloodthirster. So double Bloodthirster versus triple Great Unclean One. Take your bets now on who's going to be victorious. Bloodthirster is anti-large, of course. And then we have Scarbrand, the Exiled, in his beautiful corset, coming to battle to take on the enemy. And he looks so goddamn gorgeous and ferocious. We're going to be looking to bring the pain. He's coming with all the goodies today. He's coming with the Rage Embodied, Wrathful Reaper, the Bellows of Endless Fury, all the goodness you would expect. We then have double Minotaurs of Khorne, and I do love Minotaurs in general from the Beastmen forces, but Minotaurs of Khorne are way more rock and roll, way more badass, more spikes, more blood, more death, more carnage. You gotta love the Minotaurs. No great weapons here, though, which is a bad news for my opponent with so many large foes on the battlefield. With a load of Chaos Warriors of Khorne making up the main battle line, in the distance we do have double Flesh Hounds looking to sneak around and get some pretty big fat rear charges. I shall make my stand in the swamps and watery depths of Kislev, and this is where we shall hold them. This is where we shall fight. Let's go, a Great Unclean One. So we're kind of doing a bit of repositioning. Big Bellow does come in, getting some early blood there onto the Forsaken, who did attempt a bit of a dodge. It looks like a few of the numbers did fall. First blood goes to the Blood God, but now we shall advance. There's not too much I can do about the Flesh Hounds, unfortunately, at the moment. So I'm going to be moving in, trying to use the spawn to really take out the enemy infantry saturated on top of the Forsaken, but it's a little slow start. We both kind of gear ourselves up, ready for battle. Did a little bit of jockeying for positioning, and here we go. The Forsaken charge in the name of Papa Nurgle, and the spawn are going to be right behind them, crashing in with the giant Great Unclean Ones as well, and is a messy scrap already with Minotaurs getting down and dirty. You can see some big attacks coming by myself, trying to lower the effectiveness of the enemy infantry. Chaos Spawn of Leroy Jenkins there onto the Chaos Warriors. Flesh Hounds going to be starting wrapping around, and at this point I know this flank, it's dead. There's not much I can do about it, but hope that it holds, and then beat up the other side. Then we can once again meet in the middle. And the triple Great Unclean One teaming up on Scarbrand the Exiled. There's a reason you are exiled, peasant. The mighty Chaos Gods do not deem you worthy. And Papa Nurgle thinks of you nothing more than a fly on the bottom of a piece of poop. And Scarbrand the Exiled, Miasma of Pestilence on him, is running for his life like the great coward he is. That's allowing us to really tear down the Chaos Warriors of Khorne and support our ground forces where possible. So I'm going to focus my attention onto the Minotaurs, realizing they're one of the biggest damage dealers. In the center, our Forsaken way, able to push back the enemy, so actually wrap around and start hitting into the rear of this unit. All my forces are rampaging, of course, because Scarbrand's using that as a cheeky way to escape. And the Bloodthirster, I think, realized his mistake. This flank was already secured for Khorne, so he needs to go over there and help his master out. You can see the spawn of Nurgle trying their best. They're completely surrounded by the enemies. The Chaos Warriors, as well as the Flesh Hounds, are ripping and tearing us limb from limb. Looks like the Forsaken, likewise, are about to bite the bullet. The Plague Bearers held relatively long. I was pretty proud of the lads, but it seems like they're only getting dragged down, and the Minotaurs of Khorne reign supreme. A nice little roar being ripped from their lungs. We do able at least, though, to kind of demolish the infantry on this left-hand side, and we still have the three big boys, and don't get it twisted, that's where basically all my army money is in. If my whole army dies, it's certainly not over. And the Bloodthirster does decide to land. We're going to start beating on it as much as possible. My opponent's been doing some good cycle charging, though, with the big heavy hitters. Scarbrand getting out of position. Minotaurs, though, routing, running for their life. Likewise are the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Looks like they are going to turn around and come back into the fray. And we do indeed drop down a Curse of the Slug on Scarbrand and the Bloodthirster to try to stop them from doing this cycle charging. We don't really want that. We want the big fat grind fight. And as all these troops come in, the Curse of the Slug is simply going to bounce between them and slow them all down, which is just what we want, as our glorious trio is supported by some Chaos Spawn here. We do have the kind of alliance of the Forsaken pledging themselves once again to Nurgle as they charge it back into the fray. Got some more Forsaken who may come back, but it has become a juicy blob fight, as basically every single Nurgle game does do. 99% of the time, you can go for some flying cores. Apart from that, it's going to be a blob fight, regardless of its land battles or domination. The big grey and clean one is just slapping up Minotaurs left, right, and centre. I'm constantly dropping those cheap spells to keep getting those nasty heals out for myself. And oh my god, the animations are so freaking cool. So we're keeping doing those small spells as much as possible rather than the big healing ones. This is just so we get nice small healing across the board for all of our great unclean ones. And it is an absolute fight of the ages right now. The Exalted Grey and Clean one is a powerful duelist as well as a Mortis engine. And it's pretty epic stuff so far as we make our last stand amongst the spawn of Nurgle. Looks like Forsaken were able to rally and come back into the fray. That's certainly going to help out. Balance power is actually going in our favour. As you can see, Chaos Warriors of Khorne retreating, Minotaurs retreating, more Minotaurs wavering, nearly breaking and retreating. As the Forsaken do move in, we come down to our faction heal, which hopefully should spread amongst our troops. And as you can see, we're all getting healed up right now, which is so goddamn tasty. And Scarbrand is getting a bit of his own medicine. He's getting sniped. He's doing a decent amount of work, though, to the Grey and Clean one, who's kind of vomiting on him as much as possible. Oh, yeah, juicy. Juicy pestilence for the pestilent god. And it does look like Scarbrand may well go down here, being surrounded by the triple single entity. Somehow my Chaos Spawn is still fighting. Once again, we have Forsaken coming back in. If we're taking an overarching view of the battlefield, there's not much to take in. The Chaos Warriors will be returning, but that is about it. Forsaken are chasing down and routing Chaos Warriors of Khorne as much as possible. My opponent army starts to break as it looks like Scarbrand the Exiled is about to be exiled back to the warp once more. Just getting slapped upon by the beautiful Great Unclean ones. They're going in a rampage. They don't care as the Exotic Great Unclean one comes in with the right hand hook, knocking Scarbrand back and sending him back to the filthy warp from whence he came. And it looks like we are going to have enough here to deal with the Bloodthirster, at least hopefully. Spawn of Nurgle and Forsaken standing loyal to the triple single entity Carnage. And oh baby, what a game. It's so dumb. It's so dumb, the triple great unclean one, and I love it so much. It's so tanky and disgusting and pretty hilarious. You can see the exotic great unclean one himself performed by far and away the best unit on the battlefield. 3,079 gold value. Still relatively healthy. About third HP in the late game. Isn't too shabby whatsoever. 64 kills, 16k damage dealt. Not bad whatsoever. I will delve into the gold value and damage dealt of all these units in a memento, but if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more content into the future. And yeah, leave a like, comment, all that good stuff. I do read through them and I appreciate all the funny comments and supportive ones as well. The links in the description, Twitch, Patreon, Discord. I've not been able to stream on Twitch basically at all for like a long time. I've had an operation, which means I cannot sit down and stream much, unfortunately. You may have noticed the lack of streams, but hopefully in the coming weeks as I start to heal up, I'll be able to do more and more streams, and I am looking to do more on Twitch as well. So anyway, let's delve into this. The mighty Exalted Grand Clean one, 3,000 gold value, not bad. 1.3 and 1.4 on the basic Grand Clean ones. Far less impressive, but they still do a nice supporting role in general. The Spawn did really good work as well. 12 kills, 1,383 gold, not shabby. The other ones, a little more isolated, and you can definitely see the units which were isolated and which ones were fighting with the main blob, because this unit Forsaken 1,000 damage value, but the others, 580, 780, 500 on the Plague Bearers. Nothing too crazy to write home about. As for my opponent, 1.9k there on Scarbrand, who really did get his bread buttered. 1.9 as well on the Bloodthirster. Decent cycle charging, but what can men do against such reckless pestilence and disease? The Mighty Minotaurs, 870 and 830 gold value there. 950, 500 and 450 on the Warriors. And the Hounds, they did okay. 600 value and 800 value. Still very, very, very powerful land barrels, but not quite as dominant as they are in domination. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, and as always, stay boss.